So in today's session, we'll see how to implement, how to basically import the files in R. So as we all are aware that R is a very famous language which is used for manipulating data, for handling the inconsistencies, running the machine learning, deep learning, or artificial intelligence modeling. Because it provides you with a lot of facilities of packages like Python, so that you can easily work with the code of the R. So in today's session, we'll see a very and very simple thing such as what are the ways in which one can import the external files in R. So we will be taking only the example of how to import CSV files in R. There are basically 4 ways in which we can do this. The first way is using complete path. The another way is using relative path. The third way is using file.choose. And the last one is nothing but using your the framework that we are using, that is using Our Studio itself. So let us just check that how a complete path can be used in order to fetch a particular data set. So suppose I have already stored one data set with the name called as the box office. It's a CSV file that is present in at a certain location, and I just want to call that file. So I simply call here the file as say box office underscore collection. This is nothing but the name in which I want to store the entire data that I am going to import from the external file. I just want to store this data into this box office collection. I will use the method called as read.csv. So read helps you to import the data from CSV to R or from any external data set to R, such as CSV or Excel or any other database that you have. And write allows you to export the data from R to any other data format where you want to store the data. So currently I'm importing the data, so I'm using this read. Here you have to first specify the location from where you are going to import this file. So either you can write like this, file is equal to and, or otherwise you can simply specify the location from where you want to import the file. So I will be going straight away into this particular directory where I have stored my files. So this is the location of directory. I just have to invert the slash. Now, why there is a requirement of inverting the slashes? Because in most of the programming language, this slash n or slash t stands for new line or tab. And that's why if someone by mistakenly created a folder with slash n, then the interpreter gets confused that whether you want to create a new line or whether you're calling a folder. That's the reason this is not allowed. So after changing the slashes, obviously I have to call the file. So the name of the file that I want to work with is boxoffice.csv. And I'll simply write over here as string as factor is equal to true. So automatically, whatever are the character type of elements that I'm having in my file will get converted into factor, which is the most desirable format to work with whenever it comes to R. So, and one more thing, you can add header is equal to true. So the first line of your data set will be treated as a header and not as a data. Otherwise, if you don't specify this, then it will be considered as a data and not as a, the column name or the column header. That's the reason it is mandatory to write header is equal to true. By default, the value of header is equal to true. So if you are not mentioning, by default, it will be considered as true only. So you can see that this is the file has been loaded. So if you simply wish to check, you can check head of this box office collection. So it will display the first 6 rows of this box office collection data that we have created, which consists of the name, then runtime, IMDb scores, Rotten Tomato scores, and so on. So this is the one way. The another way is using relative path. Now what happens in relative path, this entire path of the folder that was there starting from C to Prachi Food Shastra. So basically this is nothing but my folder name. So I will store my folder name somewhere, and so that next time whenever I need to call the file, I can simply write the name of the file. My machine knows in which folder I have to look for the file. So for that reason, you'll find out there's an option called as session, there's an option called as set working directory, and there's an option called as choose directory inside it. If you just select that, then you have to select the directory in which you generally have your, all files. So this is basically the directory where I'm having my file. So I'll go to this directory, I'll click on open. Automatically, you'll find out that one code has been written, that is setwd, that is set working directory to Apache code chapter. Now, if I create an object, say box office collection is equal to read.csv, there is no need for me to specify the entire name of the file. In fact, I can just specify this box office.csv. String as factor is equal to true, and I can say that header is equal to true. That's it. So if you simply again want to check, again you'll find out the same data, obviously, because the data is same. We are simply changing the ways of calling the files. So this is basically one more way. The third way, as we discussed, is using file.choose method. So in the file.choose method, there is no need for you to define a directory or folder or to give any kind of path. You can simply say that box office collection is equal to read.csv and pass file.choose into this. Make sure you are writing string as factor is equal to true and you are writing header is equal to true. Just run this and you'll find out that it opens a browser from where you have to select the file. So the name of my file is box office. I selected that. Now if you simply check the head of box office collection, you will be again able to get the data. So this is the third way, and the last one is using Our Studio Ide itself, where you just have to click on this particular icon, that is again the read file icon. Click on that, click on prompt text and select the name of the file, that is boxoffice.csv. Again, make sure that the heading is selected as true by clicking to this particular heading is equal to true. String as factors you can select just by ticking this particular checkbox. And at the end, you just have to click on import. So you'll find out automatically it opens a kind of view like this, where you can view your entire data frame. So that's the additional thing that is provided by this file selector that is available inside your data set. One more thing I just forgot to tell you previously, so I'm just rerunning this. When you call this file, by default here, the name by which R will refer to that file will be exactly the same by which you have created the CSV. So if you want to change this name, so for example, I just want to make it as box_office_collection. Then I have to change like this. So the file name would be changed, otherwise it will be exactly the same by which the file is stored in the CSV format. Now again, if you wish to check head of box office, previously I called the file using box office, so this is also visible, or otherwise you have this object called as box office collection as well. So these are basically the 4 ways using which one can load the data into R. We are aware that R is a kind of language that one can use for performing a huge amount of data related tasks or data related activities. So this tutorial was just to help you out in order to understand the very important as well as the first step, that is how to import the data set using the various techniques that are available. So I just hope you must have enjoyed this particular series, or you must have enjoyed this particular journey of understanding how to use the files using R. See you soon in the next videos with some more exciting concepts. Till the time, thank you.